Welcome to Watch Mojo, and today we're counting down our picks for the most impressive and awesomely enduring examples of musical codas. Number 20, Chiquitita, ABBA.
Chiquitita, you and I cry, but the sun is still in the sky.
It may be true that Sweden's ABBA was much more than just a disco band to a great many people, but there's also no denying how much the 70s intensive musical movement influenced ABBA's creative direction. Chiquitita is taken from one of the group's most disco-influenced records, Voulez-Vous. Yet, this song primarily resides within a balladic space. This is due primarily to the first part of Chiquitita, which is slow, melancholic, and pensive.
Hate to see you like this. There is no way you can deny it.
The song's ending, however, is much more positive and uplifting and features a musical coda that reflects this sentiment. Hope and positivity are the name of the game as Chiquitita reaches its finale, and it's clear that this happy/sad dynamic was intentional by ABBA. Number 19, Under the Bridge, Red Hot Chili Peppers. This is one of those Red Hot Chili Peppers songs that isn't simply among their most commercially successful, it's also a tune that's intrinsically linked to their identity as a band. This is another song that starts off slowly, with John Frusciante's iconic opening guitar work setting the stage for Anthony Kiedis' confessional verses.
Lonely as I am, together we cry.
It isn't until nearly the 3-minute mark where the band breaks loose for some jam-style instrumentation. The combination of this upbeat musical ending, combined with the almost choir-like vocal accompaniment, makes this outro to Under the Bridge work as a perfectly satisfying finale. Number 18, Cemetery Gates, Pantera. The call and response musical technique is put to outstanding work here within the ending of Cemetery Gates by Pantera. The much-missed Dimebag Daryl Abbott goes for a back and forth with vocalist Phil Anselmo as the latter's high notes reach for the stars against Abbott's lead guitar. Then, in a moment that's almost poetic in its symbolism, it's Dimebag's guitar that ends up winning the battle. Soaring into the stratosphere, and the resulting outro dive bomb just screams. Pantera fans will probably never forget the first time they heard Cemetery Gates or how much it meant to them, and neither will we. Number 17, November Rain, Guns N' Roses.
And it's hard to hold a candle in the cold November rain.
The success of Guns N' Roses' monstrous 1987 debut, Appetite for Destruction, essentially meant that they were going to retain a lot of creative control going forward in their career. The resulting album Double Shot of Use Your Illusion 1 and 2 both contained some of the band's most experimental work up until that point, including the epic November Rain. This is a song that features multiple movements as GNR indulges their innermost Queen fantasies, with a side helping of Sunset Strip sleaze. The orchestral accompaniment is pure bombast as it backs up Slash's all-time classic outro solo, a mirror image against the man's earlier iconic rip in front of a deserted church. It's pure cinematic musical overkill, the likes of which we may never see again. Number 16, God Only Knows, The Beach Boys.
God only knows what I'd be without you.
There's an almost mantra-like rhythm to the ending of God Only Knows by the Beach Boys, a hypnotic lull that's impossible to resist. This masterpiece composition from Brian Wilson and Tony Asher is widely considered to be one of the best songs ever written, despite its length of just under 3 minutes. Yet, so much occurs within this time. From gorgeous vocal harmonies to the alternative percussive elements of sleigh bells and even juice cups.
Only knows what I'd be without.
It's the repetition of that final chorus that forever reverberates within the hearts and minds of Beach Boys devotees, a gorgeously melodic echo that's warm and utterly inviting. Number 15, Mr. Blue Sky, Electric Light Orchestra. Sprawling double albums were commonplace back in the heyday of 1970s rock, with Out of the Blue being a particularly successful one for Electric Light Orchestra. Side 3 of that album featured an epic-length composition titled Concerto for a Rainy Day, the last of which was a little tune called Mr. Blue Sky. This has gone on to become one of the most successful and popular tunes from ELO's history, having been repurposed for many TV shows and movies. Mr. Blue Sky is honestly an embarrassment of riches, from that driving beat to its ultra-cool vocal harmonies. It's that epic orchestral ending, with bonus vocoder awesomeness that serves as the proverbial cherry on the cake, ending things with a proper sturm and drang. Number 14, Fade to Black, Metallica. It may sound difficult to believe today, but Metallica actually received more than their fair share of blowback in 1984 for including a ballad on their sophomore effort, Ride the Lightning. Die-hard thrash metal fans bemoaned the band's apparent selling out on the track Fade to Black, but that track is now rightly considered to be a classic from Metallica's catalog. So that shows what they knew. Fade to Black is more of a moody and melancholic piece than anything traditionally balladic in scope. Meanwhile, the song's fiery ending sequence proved that Metallica was in no way, shape, or form abandoning thrash metal for the pop charts. At least, not yet. Number 13, Baba O'Riley, The Who. A lot of attention, justifiably of course, has been paid to the extended intro to The Who's Baba O'Riley. This classic jam from The Who also contains an equally iconic outro, a jig that combines Keith Moon's manic drumming alongside some frenetic violin from Dave Arbus, on loan from progressive jazz rockers East of Eden. It almost makes it easy to forget how awesome the middle of Baba O'Riley is. As well, since the whole composition is basically one of classic rock's most well-regarded epic masterpieces. It's a hat trick of separate pieces that come together to make a whole, anchored by The Who's expert musicianship. Number 12, Purple Rain, Prince and the Revolution. Here's a question. Is Purple Rain by Prince and the Revolution basically one long guitar solo? Well, not really, but it's perhaps easy to label it as such, if only to how the Purple One's extended instrumental freakout went on to become the stuff of legend. Purple Rain is basically a song of halves. The buildup of that beginning, where Prince's vocals are the focus, and that En Fuego finale. The closing solo to this song is soulful, aggressive, melodic, and more. Sometimes all at once. It's a reckoning of Prince's enviable musical abilities as he shreds that guitar for all he's worth. Number 11. Don't Fear the Reaper, Blue Oyster Cult. They were among the Outsiders, a cerebral and dynamic rock band from the 70s that were influenced by science fiction, comic books, and high fantasy. Blue Oyster Cult were also responsible for crafting one of that decade's best radio hits with Don't Fear the Reaper. Sure, it may also exist within the same space as its famous SNL parody, but this song's iconic opening guitar line is tempered with an equally epic outro section. The sustained guitar that resounds out of the solo sets the stage for this song's final verse. Meanwhile, bassist Joe Bouchard spreads out over the guitar harmonies and pounding drums to help create rock history. Number 10. Freebird, Lynyrd Skynyrd. The members of Lynyrd Skynyrd spent nearly half the running time of their massive hit Freebird in solo mode, rocking out with reckless abandon. And sure, frontman Ronnie Van Zant's verses on the first half of Freebird are outstanding. But who are we kidding? You all came to hear Skynyrd jam the F out on Freebird, preferably for an extended amount of time. The band's episode of VH1's Behind the Music discussed just how much these good old boys practiced during their lean years, and this hard work was clearly seen within the final results of Freebird and its absolutely fire ending. Number 9. Riders on the Storm, The Doors.
Like a dog without a bone, an actor out on loan, riders on the storm.
We can't think of a better way to remember the creative partnership of The Doors better than this late period hit from their final album released with Jim Morrison during his lifetime. Riders on the Storm benefits greatly from keyboardist Ray Manzarek's decision to use a Fender Rhodes electric piano on the track, since it adds a sumptuous warmth to what's already an incredibly evocative tune.
Riders on the storm, riders on the storm.
Manzarek enjoys a fantastic extended solo section, while Morrison's haunting vocals are tracked alongside an equally creepy whisper. Finally, the outro pitter-patter of pouring rain is atmospheric as heck, closing the book on an era for the Doors' iconic style of psychedelic rock. Number 8. Sweet Child O' Mine, Guns N' Roses. There's a laundry list of influences that permeate the music of Guns N' Roses to the point where this variety eventually seeped into the complexity of their arrangements. There were no real compositional road signs that might lead one to believe that the end of Sweet Child O' Mine is about to go where it goes. No signal that Axl Rose and the boys are about to switch things up with the "Where do we go?" section after the lead break. Yet it's this decision that turned Sweet Child O' Mine from a great song to a tune that helped define a generation.
Sweet
Then again, this was also the band that decided to end the infamously sleazy Rocket Queen with a heartfelt, melodic outro. Pure genius. Number 7. Comfortably Numb, Pink Floyd. The creative partnership of Pink Floyd members Roger Waters and David Gilmour was known to be challenging and adversarial at times, but it was their collaboration on Comfortably Numb that helped this tune work so well. The orchestral elements favored by Waters blend well with Gilmour's more rock-focused approach to songwriting. Meanwhile, the latter's notably emotive style of lead guitar playing shines on the outro section of Comfortably Numb. Gilmour's solo here is widely considered by Floyd fans as one of the man's best, a soaring performance that runs through a gamut of evocative feelings as Comfortably Numb fades out. Number 6. Hotel California, Eagles. The history of harmonized guitar playing dates way back to the country, bluegrass, and early rock and roll pioneers of decades past. Fast forward to the 1970s, and Hotel California by the Eagles included a notable harmonized coda at the end of this all-time classic soft rock jam. Joe Walsh and Don Felder steal the show here as Hotel California comes to a close, sealing the deal after a series of iconic verses from drummer-vocalist Don Henley. This is one of those radio rock staples that continues to be played on terrestrial airwaves today, with listeners always anticipating Hotel California's triumphant final section. Number 5. The Chain, Fleetwood Mac. It's John McVie's bass line that anchors this finale to Fleetwood Mac's all-time banger, The Chain. The group's fractured romantic dynamic was laid bare on their supremely successful Rumors LP, while the opening sections of The Chain are crafted with wonderful vocal harmonies.
Listen to the wind blow, watch the sun rise.
Finally, the rocked-out coda section that's announced by McVie allows for Lindsey Buckingham, Stevie Nicks, and Christine McVie to come together once again, delivering musical magic as their voices join up with the song's instrumentation. There have been many amazing songs written by this collective over the years, but The Chain has to be among their very best. Number 4. Bohemian Rhapsody, Queen.
So you think you can stop me and spit my eye?
This one has to be one of the most obvious inclusions on this list, thanks to the notable history of just how much work went into crafting Queen's Bohemian Rhapsody. The arrangements here are startlingly progressive for a major commercial work, incorporating numerous movements, such as a rock operetta, within its nearly 6-minute running time.
Very, very frightening me.
Galileo, Galileo, Galileo Figaro.
Magnifico!
The song is vocally driven for the most part, while also featuring that headbangable hard rock section near the finale. Queen's group vocals come back to bid an official farewell to the song, however, as frontman Freddie Mercury proves once again that he was unlike any other stadium rock singer, no matter the era.
Nothing really matters to me.
Number 3. A Day in the Life, The Beatles. The uncompromising creative spirit of the Beatles only became stronger as the 1960s drew to a close. These lads fully embraced the album format, abandoning pop life for more progressive avenues on albums like Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band and non-album single hits such as Hey Jude.
Hey Jude, refrain, don't carry the world.
The former has gone down as a true example of the Beatles working together with their producer George Martin to craft music that made a statement. A Day in the Life was also notable for that iconic deep note ending that sounds deep and rich, enveloping the listener and transforming them into an almost hypnotic state. Number 2. Stairway to Heaven, Led Zeppelin. It's perhaps one of the most famous guitar solos of all time, a hard-rocking climax to what's essentially a pastoral folk song. Led Zeppelin's Stairway to Heaven is one of those prototypical power ballads, a soft and inviting epic that provides a determined build to an all-out fiery climax. Leonine frontman Robert Plant joins up with Jimmy Page's guitar pyrotechnics to howl for the skies as Stairway to Heaven reaches down to hell for heavy metal inspiration. Then, as if to bring it all back to that soft beginning, Plant sings us out, unaccompanied, as Stairway takes its rightful place amongst the best rock songs of all time.
A stairway to heaven.
Before we continue, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. You have the option to be notified for occasional videos or all of them. If you're on your phone, make sure you go into your settings and switch on notifications. Number 1. Layla, Derek and the Dominoes. There's a lot of interesting controversy behind the composition of Layla, specifically the famous ending piano coda that occurs after the rock half of the tune. Drummer Jim Gordon took credit for the piece, but multiple sources have claimed that the troubled skins man for Derek and the Dominoes actually stole the idea from his then-girlfriend, Rita Coolidge. Granted, this takes little away from how the piece works to bookend Eric Clapton's hard-rocking work on the first part of Layla. However, it is interesting to hear how Rita Coolidge's sister Priscilla would go on to record her own version with the legendary Booker T. Jones in 1973. Do you recall any of these iconic endings long after they've stopped echoing in your ears? Let us know in the comments.